One flew east, one flew west, one flew over the cuckoo's nest. The first time I was in China, we were traveling on a bus, the kind with chickens and ducks and people crammed in, like you see in Jewel the Nile, where it goes over the side of the mountain. We were on a bus like that, just flying, going up at an accelerated pace to 3,000 meters altitude. From somewhere around sea level, and there were all these curves going around the mountains, like you see Hannibal climbing with elephants climbing over mountains and things and each other, and these roads that you can see them winding all the way up, and there's snow, and it's snowing and barely visible, and the bus going meh, 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 as it's coming around one of these mountain rounds, and it's taking the whole road, and I'm sitting there going, you think the guy that's coming around the other corner going meh, meh, meh is gonna be able to hear you beeping the horn and saying get the hell out of the way? I think there's a very good chance that any moment we could just go plummeting over the side of this mountain. But we didn't. It's just like so exciting. Anything could happen. And we stopped. We'd stop at places every once in a while. They had little outlying places where you could eat. And this one place, they had a whole shop set up. They had beaver pelts. I was petting the beaver on the wall. I said, oh, they're so soft. Beaver is a very soft fur. I'm amazed that people don't wear it as mink coats and things like that anymore. They're very soft. They're beautiful. I'm sure they're very warm. And there was a book in that shop. And I looked and I said, I need a book. It ain't up to me, Doc. It ain't up to me. Well, we're just gonna watch you for a while. Yeah, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This book is there by Ken Kesey. Look at that young Jack Nicholson thinking there's so much left to do. And I saw it there. And what's it say on the back? Oh, 78 UN. It was 78 UN. I showed up with money from my sock, like $1,600 in China, and changed it all over. It was like I was loaded. That's like $128,000 or something, or $12,800. I think that's probably more right. 8.25%. Or is it yuan to the dollar was at the time. So you feel very wealthy with a little bit of money when you show up, and I'm spending it on a book. And Jimmy's looking, he's going, you don't want to buy that. And I think I'd seen the movie before, but I knew I needed to read the book. He says, you don't want to buy that. I said, why not? He says, it's so expensive. I said, but I need something to read. I'm on the bus. And he says, I got it at home. I'll let you borrow it when we get back. I said, well, but I need it now. And so I bought this book against his will. I don't think he was happy about that. But so I bought this book. And there we are, riding through those hills. And it's just crazy. And I'm reading this book. And I'm looking and I see these old buildings out there along down the side, and you can see the stuff creeping up over them. And it's like, wow, how did it get taken over so fast? And so there, I question it. And, well, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I write in all of my books. If it's my book, I write in it. There are many people that say, you do not write in a book. It's mine. I write in these things, and at the end, I keep notes from what I read, and I write page numbers and things, and I go back when it's all over, when I've finished the book and I read through, and I hit those things that caught my attention, and it helps. It emphasizes the memories we're supposed to be keeping from this. Supposed to be, oh, maybe not that. It emphasizes the memories we want to keep. These are the things that mean something to us. And so I write as we're going around these mountains, and I'm watching the detritus of buildings compiling as the living earth takes it over again. The land belongs to no government. The land is its own. And try as tyranny might to control it by raising and covering it, nature mocks those governments by tearing down what they've put on the land, and the land pushes up through in no time. Life is eternal. Life is migratory. Life is ubiquitous. In a system with no boundaries, our closed system is a lie, thereby suiting our governments perfectly. They too are a lie. 25 October 2003. 09:39 hours. The road to Diching. That's where I wrote that. I read this book, and I'm thinking about it today for some reason or another, and I went and I found it. I was able to find it. I knew where it was. It took me a second to find out where what I was looking for was. And 1973. But I tried, goddammit. At least I did that. I tried. And I was thinking about how, I tell people, you hear about, the book was better than the movie, and the movie, the book, who has time to read? I generally tell people, watch the movie first, and then read the book. Because rarely does the book stand up, or the movie stand up to the book. There's so much more you can do in a book. You have all the time you need. In a movie theater, you only have 2 hours, and if you make it 3, it better be damn good. Otherwise, people are going to throw things. Like my second brother throwing licorice through the movie screen in the Gaylord Cinema. Yeah, nice. That's a very expensive piece of art out there, and you're just going to play and destroy something. So you want to watch the movie first. And I'd seen that movie, I know I had, but then I bought this book and I read it in my time there on the bus and everything else. And Ken Kesey did not like the movie. He didn't like the way it went. He was like, that's not the way I wrote it. But this was one of those instances where I think the book and the movie really, they're very complementary for each other. They cover two different sides that would be too hard to tell all by itself, like Legends of the Fall by Jim Harrison, and that little novella, 100-page thing. That's another example to me of a book that's as good as a movie that's as good as a book, because you watch Legends of the Fall with Brad Pitt, and you see him on a boat at one point, and you're like, what the hell's going on? It covers things in the movie that weren't covered in the book, but like that scene of him in the boat, the book is able to cover what was going on. They support each other. They are one together. And Ken Kesey didn't like it. Ken Kesey wrote this as a story of the big chief, of Will Sampson, who died after being on Poltergeist, the movie, like everybody else, got sick and died. He got some kind of cancer and died, but he was a big man, just like he says in the movie. He says, my father was a big man, but the drink, it made him small. Okay, we get that. But from the book, you get the fact that his father, a Native American, was a chief in his village and married a white woman. And that white woman tried to take all the native out of him. And what she did was took apart everything that he was. Not only what he believed in, but what made everything work. And once she took that away and belittled him, he moved to the whiskey. And every little drink he took made him smaller. It tore him down. There's a lot in this book. And it's about the Combine. That's what he talks about. R.P. McMurphy. It was not R.P. McMurphy's story. It was the Big Chief's. He was telling you the story about what happened when R.P. McMurphy showed up. And how it changed everything. Because he was supposed to be deaf mute. Nobody even paid attention to him anymore. In the book, he was always in the room when the psychiatrists were talking about what to do about McMurphy and what they thought about him. And Nurse Ratchet is sitting there going, well, you just give him to me for a while. He was there the whole time with a broom, just standing around doing nothing, moving real slow. But he was listening to everything, and he was psychologically impaired, which they don't act like in the movie. That's part of what Kesey didn't like either, I'm sure. But he had problems. He had this confusion. He was between places. Like September 30th was Orange Shirt Day in Canada, to remember the travesties that were done to the indigenous people when they took them away from their clans, their tribes, and schooled them once they were done with school, and they weren't accepted anywhere. Same with the U.S. These kids that went to school, they go back to their reservation, to their people. I have reservations about this. My people are here. They don't fit in anywhere anymore because they're belittled by those of us that dragged them out and forced them to be like us. But still, I gave this to you. You should appreciate more. And you should lie down, which is what the people would never do. That's why the Native Americans were not good for slaves, because they would just lie down. They could whip him and beat him all day long. And they said, no, I'm just going to sit here. You fucker. You want it done, do it yourself. You're wasting too much time beating me. Should have been done already. Get to work. But it was the idea. That's what Big Chief said about McMurphy, was he hadn't been caught by the Combine. He was somebody that moved around too much, moved too fast, and the system just couldn't keep up with him to draw him into the banks and all this stuff. He's like, I've got nothing. That's the idea. You got nothing to lose. And if you're willing to work, you can go anywhere you want. Well, he said, as long as I'm young and healthy, I will never have any problem with money because I can get a job anywhere I go. The money is not the goal. Your life is the goal. And if you can walk through all this and still keep giggling, you're winning. You're breathing in that good ass prana. You're fucking winning. And this is a rare case where the book is as good as the movie and the movie is as good as the book. And without each of them, both of them, together, you will never see the greater picture. They couldn't do a movie like Ken Kesey wrote this book. This book is too deep into the mind to be able to fill the screen with fog as planes are coming in and somebody just doesn't know what's real anymore. It would take acid in your fountain drink for you to understand a movie that was written like this book. And nobody would be able to tell the same story because the acid would give us all our own aspects of it, probably. I don't know. The Combine. I should explain that. A piece of farm machinery that comes over the wild oats, the beautiful growing things, and just grinds them up and bales them together. You know, the Combine had not met him yet. And I'm not going to tell you how the story ends. But, you should watch them both. As I spent more and more time watching the movie after having read the book, I understood so much. Two things that stand alone. I'm not a doctor, but I play one at home. R.P. McMurphy, 38 years old. Next girl I'm with is gonna light up like cannon fire and shoot out quarters like a jukebox.